Welcome back. Feels like everyone's been on this self-healing kick lately. Meditation, quantum physics, the whole shebang. Trying to unlock that inner power.
It's definitely got people talking.
Big time. And today, we've got a story that takes all those concepts, the mind-body connection, and throws them right into the deep end.
This is one of those stories where the line between the theoretical and the real gets really blurry.
Totally.
Yeah.
So picture this. April 23rd, 2016, David Spina. He's hit with sepsis, diabetes, pancreatitis all at once.
Talk about a medical nightmare.
Seriously. But wait, there's more. As if that wasn't enough, he also becomes paralyzed from the chest down.
Wow.
Yeah. And the doctors, they tell him straight up, it's permanent.
Oof. I can't even imagine getting that kind of news. So what happened? Did he just give up?
That's the thing. He didn't. In fact, he did the complete opposite. He basically said, I don't think so.
He must have had some serious inner strength.
Right. But it wasn't just like blind optimism. David had been deep into studying the mind-body connection. He'd convinced himself that his physical body, it wasn't him. He was more like a car.
A vehicle.
Exactly. And just like if your car breaks down, you don't think, oh, no, I'm broken.
Right. You fix the car.
Exactly. So even though his body was failing, David believed that his true self, wasn't broken.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. So how did he fix the car, so to speak?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. David was big into meditation, like really big into it.
Okay.
He claimed he could reach these higher states of consciousness where you could actually redraw the body's blueprints.
Hold on. Are we talking magic here? Rewiring the body through sheer willpower?
It sounds kind of crazy, right? But David broke it down into these 7 key protocols, ways to basically tell your body to heal itself.
Interesting. So did it work? Did he actually walk again?
You're not going to believe this, but on day 100, just like he predicted, he walked.
No way! Are you serious?
Dead serious. Defied every odd, every medical prediction.
That's incredible. All right, you got to tell me more about these protocols. What were they? Some kind of secret meditation technique?
One of the biggest takeaways was this whole idea of detaching from the ego.
The ego, like our sense of self.
Exactly. David believed that our ego, it loves to hold on tight to things, our bodies, thoughts, feelings. And that grip, that identification, it actually blocks our natural healing abilities.
So you're saying we need to separate our true selves from, everything we think we are, our bodies, our thoughts.
That's the idea. And he uses this great analogy. He compares the ego to like an annoying backseat driver, always there yapping away with anxieties and doubts, but it shouldn't be the one in control,
I like that. The ego as the backseat driver. Man, can I relate to that? My thoughts are constantly racing. So is that where meditation comes in? Quieting that inner voice?
Bingo. David saw meditation as the key to silencing that backseat driver and tapping into something deeper, something beyond the constant chatter of the mind.
That quiet space within? I get it. But he makes it sound so easy.
Oh, trust me, he admitted it wasn't a walk in the park. In the beginning, he said his mind would race like crazy.
The ego putting up a fight? Makes sense.
Totally. But he stuck with it, pushed through that initial resistance, and that's when things started to shift for him.
So he was able to tap into that deeper part of himself. What then? What did he find there?
He said it was wild, like getting these downloads of straight-up wisdom.
Oh, like answers to life's big questions just popping up.
That's how he described it. And honestly, it kind of reminded me of those flow states you hear athletes talk about.
Yeah, where they're just completely in the zone, performing at superhuman levels.
Exactly. And it's funny, those flow states, they seem effortless from the outside, but they don't just happen by accident.
Right. It takes dedication.
For sure.
Yeah.
And a big part of it is learning to silence that inner critic. David said he really struggled at first, his mind racing 1,000,000 miles a minute.
That's the ego, right?
Yeah.
Clinging on for dear life. Exactly. But he knew to get to that quiet place, he had to push through. The only way out is through kind of thing.
Love that quote. So he's got this meditation thing down. He's tapping into this deeper part of himself. What happens next?
Well, that's when he starts to realize that his own personal journey, it's like a microcosm of this bigger shift happening in the world.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
He and Michael, they have these deep conversations about how all these old paradigms, these outdated ways of thinking, they're crumbling. We're in the middle of this massive collective awakening.
Okay, yeah. I can see that. It definitely feels like we're living in some pretty crazy times, almost like a global wake-up call. you know?
Exactly. And their point is this isn't about waiting around for someone else to fix things. It's about realizing that we all have a part to play in this shift.
So it's less about passive hoping and more about taking action.
100%. They emphasize this need for self-awareness, questioning our deeply held beliefs, and those limitations we unknowingly put on ourselves.
So it's like an inside job. Changing the world starts with changing ourselves.
Right. And they even talk about how some institutions, like the education system, might be like accidentally holding us back from this evolutionary leap in consciousness.
Interesting. So they're not saying it's intentional or anything, but just that maybe those systems aren't equipped to handle this kind of like rapid evolution of thought.
Exactly. And the key takeaway is that true power, it comes from realizing that we have the agency to break free from those limiting structures. It's about reclaiming our inherent power.
I love that. Okay, so practically speaking, how do we actually do that? How do we tap into this inner power that David's talking about?
Well, one of the most fascinating things they discuss is the placebo effect.
Oh, right, the whole mind over matter thing.
Yeah, it's like proof that our beliefs can literally impact our physical healing.
Which is wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, how can just believing in something have such a powerful effect on the body?
It's a total head scratcher, right? It kind of throws a wrench in our traditional understanding of science and medicine.
For sure. But it definitely points to this deep connection between the mind and body.
Totally. And David actually takes it a step further. He says desire and intention, they're the starting point of all creation.
Hold on. So we're not just talking about healing here.
Nope. He's talking about everything. Creating the life you want, manifesting your dreams. It all starts with desire and intention.
So it's not enough to just kind of like wish for things. You have to really want it and then back it up with action.
100%. He talks about becoming a vibrational match for the reality you want to experience. And this is where they draw this really cool parallel between healing and creativity.
Okay, now I got to know. How do those two things connect? Healing and creativity.
Well, they're saying that whether you're like painting a masterpiece or healing your body, when you create from this place of pure desire and intention, you tap into this whole other level of power.
Huh. So it's about getting out of your own way, silencing those doubts and just like letting the magic happen.
Exactly. It's about getting out of your head and into that flow state where the magic really starts to happen.
It's funny when you put it like that, those amazing feats, like David healing his paralysis, they seem almost possible.
Right. And this is where the conversation takes this really interesting turn into the world of, get this, quantum physics.
Okay, time to put my thinking cap on.
Right. This is where things start to get really mind-bending. They talk about how quantum physics is showing us that we're not just physical beings, but also electromagnetic energies.
You're like walking energy fields.
Basically. And that energy, it's constantly interacting with the energy of everything around us.
So like we're all connected on some fundamental level.
Exactly. And David's point is our thoughts and intentions, they have the power to shape that energy field. He's talking about the potential for our consciousness to influence reality at its most basic level.
Whoa. Okay, so we're not just puppets on a string then. We actually have a say in how this whole reality thing plays out.
That's the idea. We're not just witnesses, we're active participants. But like, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Totally. So if our thoughts can really shape reality, we got to be mindful of what we're putting out there.
100%. That's exactly what they're saying. This isn't just about manifesting a parking spot, you know?
Right. It's about like our collective future.
Exactly. If our thoughts are that powerful, imagine what we could create if we all focused on like peace or healing or whatever it is we want to see in the world.
Okay, now my mind is officially blown, but I got to say, this isn't just some pie in the sky theory, right? We're talking about David, who healed his own paralysis using this stuff.
Exactly. His story is like living proof that this power is real, it's within us, and we can tap into it.
It's like he's saying, hey, look what's possible if you just change your perspective, change your thoughts.
Right. He went from being told he'd never walk again to like literally rewriting his own story.
Man, talk about inspiring. This deep dive has been incredible. We started with David's wild journey, and we ended up in like the quantum realm.
It's a trip, right? From the power of detaching from the ego to the potential of meditation to the idea that we're all connected through this field of energy. It's a lot.
It is. But for those who want to go even deeper, we highly recommend checking out David's book, Supercharged Self-Healing.
Yeah, he gets into the nitty-gritty of how to apply these principles to your own life, you know, practical tools and techniques.
Exactly. And remember, this is just the beginning. The journey of like self-discovery and healing, It's ongoing.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to create.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive. Keep those minds open, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep believing in the power within you. Until next time.